Hi.
Right, we are live. Exclusive. I hope you're well, Tina. We just had a bit of a chat there, so you haven't missed anything at all. But guys, I wanted to obviously welcome you all to our live training today, crushing weekend and social events. Now, the reason I decided to start with this topic is literally all three of you right now. We've discussed weekend flexibility, so it is a thing that most of us definitely do, in the sense of we are a bit more, say, indulgent, or we consume more calories at the weekend. So it's a really good topic for everyone to kind of get some tips and tricks from, and I'm sure you guys all have your own as well. So I'm excited that you've all joined me for this one. And there's a good bit of interest in getting the recording for this one as well. So just to get us started, obviously you guys know me, but there are some people in the group that don't know me so well. We have a lot of new faces joining our transformation tribe each and every day. So just to introduce myself, I am Tanaka. I am currently in Auckland, New Zealand, which is where I'm from, but originally living in Ireland for the last 17 years. I have been in the health and fitness industry for just over 7 years. Through my own weight loss journey and my own maintenance journey, it sparked my interest in nutrition and becoming a nutritionist. A lot of my clients, weight loss clients as well, so it's a great thing that I've got the experience through my own journey. It's something I really enjoy helping people achieve. I had a message this morning from someone who actually followed us on Instagram and said, we said, thanks for the follow. And they said, well, I like following people who change people's lives. So it's a pretty rewarding career for sure. Helping people look better, not just look better, but feel better, and, you know, creating better relationships with food and that sort of thing. As you guys know, my husband is Gary, who's the head coach, and my training sense, unfortunately, I've been a bit lacking in that. My 15-month-old has say in that. I can't blame him. I should make the time. However, it's all good. So we have a good bit of experience between us all here at Body by G. So first off, I am here to tell you that you are completely capable of having a social life, okay, and still working towards your goals, okay? It's not, you know, this unheard of thing that, you know, people magically have. It's something that needs to be worked on. Okay, and if we're struggling with things right now, that means what we're doing is not quite working for us. Okay, so we need to create some change. And a lot of the times, you know, it's habits. A lot of the times it's mindset. Sometimes it's just learning new skills, you know, and using them tools at different seasons of our life, different circumstances, to help you achieve that goal. Because we can't always be in a dieting phase. Like, you know, that's not how life works. And we need to diet when we need to, obviously, if we've gained something, or we're trying to, you know, grow muscle, or, you know, there's all sorts of different phases of these dieting cycles. So some of the topics we're going to cover, we're going to go over, is mindset. Okay, guys, you've talked to me before. It's a huge one. That's where it all begins. We are going to deal with social pressures, okay, because that is a big one as well. Guesstimating, okay. Obviously, at the weekends, like if we're eating out, I was just talking to Tracy there, you know, you're having to eat off a menu, you're not preparing it yourself, you have to guesstimate. And we're going to go over some tips, and then we can have a quick Q&A if you have any questions for me. Okay, so first things first, we are going to go over mindset, okay? And you guys all know this. It's probably the number one thing that most people need to address. And it's what most people struggle with. You know, sometimes we put the cart before the horse. Well, a lot of the time we put the cart before the horse. We're going to go dieting, I'm going to lose weight, and everything's going to be fine. And it's not, because you're actually not ready for that, right? So there's two types of mindset when it comes to getting kind of results through nutrition and fitness as well. There is a growth mindset, okay? So when you're in that kind of growth mindset, you're coachable. You're willing to make change, you're willing to do, you know, whatever it takes, and you set realistic expectations as well, and you kind of don't get down on yourself. You know, you're far more likely to succeed, I suppose, in the long run, if you're in that growth mindset, as opposed to being in a fixed mindset. Okay, so I'll go over the two of them anyway. So A fixed mindset is that belief that you're kind of incapable of doing something. You know, you could actually legitimately be thinking that, or could be sitting in your subconscious, and you think to yourself, you know, it's kind of like self-sabotage, I suppose. You know, you're creating unrealistic expectations, negative self-talk. Okay, I'm sure we've all been there. Or it's that all or nothing mentality. Like, I talk to loads of people and they say, oh, you know, I'm all or nothing, Tan. I'm either in the zone or I'm not in the zone. It's like, well, if you're telling yourself that, then of course you're going to be, you know. And there's even, dare I say it, a victimization kind of side to it as well, where we do play the victim and we blame all the circumstances around us, you know. And we all know if we don't take responsibility for our actions and for the things that are going on, then change probably will not happen. If we're blaming outside influences, then we're probably going to be stuck in that cycle. Okay, so, you know, you need to tell yourself it is possible. You know, we just have to accept our circumstances, and that's how it is. You know, you want to make better choices. You know, and you don't, I think a lot of the time we say, oh, I'm going to be a nuisance to somebody else if I'm, you know, oh no, I don't want that. No, you know, you can use an example again, Tracy, asking for something on the side, and you know, that kind of way. And sometimes we don't want to hurt somebody's feelings or be that what we perceive as a nuisance to people as well. So what we need to do is we need to obviously plan. Okay, guys, this is a big one. We need to plan things, and not at the first sign of any trouble, chuck it out the window. You know, like, and we've all done that. Okay, and we'll probably do it in the future too, but more, if you can kind of more often than not, you know, go, okay, this is what happened. Cool, I accept it. You know, next time it happens, I know that the decision I made then probably wasn't the best one, so I'll try a different route, you know. So we've all been there, and quitting after a week because we didn't lose 10 pounds, you know, this isn't working, you know. So it's really important to create those realistic expectations, guys. Okay, so that is a fixed mindset, right? So you're just definitely not open to change, and you're pushing, you know, it's an uphill battle. Okay, so it's really important, if you are kind of dieting and going into these weekends, that you do have a growth mindset, and that is the basic belief that you are capable, you can change, you have problem solving skills, you create realistic expectations, you value progress. Okay, you know, you are your own hero. Basically, you're taking shit into your own hands, and you are dealing with it, and you go full steam ahead towards your goals, no matter what speed humps you come along the way. Okay, so kind of ways that growth mindset does present itself, you know, it's not about being perfect either, and I think that's a trap we all fall into. You know, we're going away on holidays, and I have the best of intentions, and I'm, you know, going to have a salad for lunch, and I'm going to have, you know, some yogurt for breakfast, and then all of a sudden we have a fry, and you know, you go, oh damn, like I've ruined it all. Like, someone in a growth mindset goes, cool, I did that. Realistic boundaries, I'm on holiday, of course I'm going to have these moments, I'm going to move on, I'm going to do a run this afternoon, you know, something like that. So whatever kind of hurdles you come into, you accept them, you grasp them, you find a way to kind of rectify things like that as well. So it's really important to be in that growth mindset, that you're constantly learning, and that way you can definitely achieve, work towards your goals a bit better at the weekends, instead of, I'm sure we've all been here, I'll start again Monday, I'll start again Monday. Like, why? Like, it's always this Monday. Like, you can get back on track from that very next meal. Okay, so those are the two mindsets. Now, you know, you guys and whoever's going to watch this afterwards know what mindset that you are currently in, right? And it's important to realize that we're not freaking robots either, guys. Do you know what I mean? We're human. We're going to give ourselves some grace from these moments that we have as well. It's really important. If you're still consistent and you're working towards your goals, that is what matters, right? Not being perfect, because who the hell is perfect? Perfect is boring anyway, right? Perfect, you know, we need some ups and downs in our lives, within reason. So talking about change with your mindset is the first step. Okay, literally, it's creating awareness, it's creating change, whatever that change is. Okay, we're all different, but it's hard to make the proper change if you don't create awareness around these things as well. Okay, so, and that's what we all did on the challenge as well, you know, with the counting calories. It wasn't about being perfect, it was about making you aware of things, and it's a real eye-opener. And pay attention to how you speak to yourself, because that is a big one. We are our own worst enemies. Tina, I'm still looking at you. So, you need to be positive. You need to be empathetic as well towards yourself. Okay. Now, not giving yourself excuses, but, giving yourself some grace when you need to. Okay. Because you're all doing really super well. So you need to acknowledge that side of things as well, and not focus on the times that you think aren't good, right? So the way to keep track of the weekends, keep track of what you're doing, what tendencies you seem to follow, and say at the weekend, say, I tend not to follow through on what I'm doing because I might not have a routine. Like, we usually don't have a routine like we do during the week. Stress is a big one. I'm sure we all know that one. It can knock us off course. We, can emotional eat is a big one. So, we can use the weekends as stress relievers, so to speak. So we're good all week. We've had a stressful week. So I'm going to have 2 bottles of wine, and I'm going to have McDonald's for breakfast, and I just don't care. It's going to make me feel good at the time. So it's important to not use weekends as our stress reliever for sure. But as I said, setting those realistic expectations. Okay. So what we need to do in that sense is, like, if we are stressed, okay, and we do feel like, okay, I need a glass of wine, like, have the damn wine as well. I'm not saying not have it, but just try and have it within reason to make it fit into our goals and creating that awareness. Okay. Because if the lights aren't on, right, if they're off, it's going to be a hell of a lot harder for you to reach your goals. Okay. So just turn the damn lights on, create awareness, and that will help you create that change. Okay. So that's what it's all about, the mindset. So get that part right. And you've all heard me talk about foundations. We need a good foundation before we can start dieting and getting results and that sort of thing. Because if we don't build those foundations, it's really hard. It's a cart before the horse. Okay. So the first thing is to change your mindset towards it, around it. The next thing is to ditch that all or nothing mentality, guys. Like, as I said, I hear it all the time. And it does frustrate me a little, and it's like, I totally get it, because you're in the zone or you're not in the zone, but it's not about being in a zone. It's about being consistent with your efforts. You're going to have the speed humps, that's the way life is. So we are human beings. We're never going to be 100% of what we want to be. Okay, it's completely unrealistic. So we need to make mistakes. We need to forget about being perfect, because we trap ourselves then in our own little prison, right? And I'm sure we've all been there, where we go, do you know what? I'm cutting out, bread forever. I was talking to someone there last week who's decided they're never eating carbs again. And it's just like, and not that that's your choice, that's fine, but you've created yourself a little prison. Like, imagine, like, how can you have a life without carbs? Like, come on, people. It's unrealistic, and we all love. So it's about not creating that little prison, putting yourself in there, because then that makes things hard as well. Okay. So, we need to think of kind of that 80-20 rule. And we've all talked about this. 80% of the time I'm doing pretty damn good, making good food choices. And then there's that 20% of the time that I might be doing things off plan, so to speak. Not a big deal if I'm off plan. I'm not going to beat myself up about it. I'm not a robot, but this is kind of the natural cycle sort of thing. And if you've given yourself that leeway, then when you do have those moments, it's like, cool, I've allowed for that, So it's really important to be kind on yourself and give yourself that room, create those real expectations. As I said, like, someone who wants to lose 10 pounds in a week, like, it's not going to happen. I'll chop your arm off, might work. Or someone who says, right, I want to lose 10 pounds in 2 months. That's realistic. They really want to do it, but what you need to say, that somebody might be out drinking quite heavily on a Friday and Saturday night. You're going to have to give something up. There's going to be some restrictions along the way, so it's about understanding that if you are in a dieting cycle, then you need to be willing to be flexible and compromise on your current weekend regime. I used to be one of them. I was a 4-day dieter when I was a larger lady. I'd eat really low calorie for 4 days, and I'd absolutely smash food and drink at the weekends. And I'd be like, but I diet for 4 days. Like, why am I not losing weight? Like, why am I getting bigger? And it's an easy trap to fall into if you don't have the knowledge, especially knowledge of calories. Okay, so it's important to, yes, if we are in a dieting phase, that we do need to sacrifice sometimes, or make different choices that better align with our goals. Okay, so I mean, this presentation isn't about saying, you know, you can smash your weekends, you can do whatever you want. It's like within reason. Okay, so, you know, as I said, it's not about cutting everything out, because that's no fun. That's not how we live our lives. So we just need to create those real expectations and be your own hero. I've already said this twice, right? As I said, nobody threw the drinks down your throat. Nobody put the pizza in your mouth, right? Nobody put the donut in your mouth, or the kebab at 2 o'clock in the morning in your mouth. Okay, so it's I know it's a little harsh, but do bear with me. And it's something quite empowering when we do take ownership, right? You're no longer the victim. You are no longer the damsel in distress. You know, sometimes we need to feel uncomfortable, okay, to get us out of our comfort zone in order to create that change. Because you know, change doesn't really happen inside our bubble, okay? It happens outside of it, where it is a little bit uncomfortable. But I mean, that when we make ourselves uncomfortable and change, this becomes the new comfortable. But it's serving our goals a bit better, okay? So when you're looking at lifelong change, you need to take ownership of your nutrition, okay? Be in charge of your calories, and that way you can reap all the rewards, taking care of yourself, not just for a couple of months or a couple of years, but for the rest of your life. And that's what you guys need to realize, that this isn't something that you just do for a short amount of time. These changes that you're making have to stick, and they have to be lifelong, okay? We can't, and we old habits die hard. I'm sure we all know that. So while it's fine to, you know, let some creep back in for sure, because it is things we enjoy, it's important to stay in control of them. And it's an amazing skill to be able to say to yourself, hey, I went off track. So what? You know, I'm just going to get back on it from the very next meal, not the whole Monday mentality, or, right, you know, I've messed it up, so I'm just going to keep binging for the weekend or whatever. It's about just getting back on track, being your own hero, and taking ownership, right, of what you're doing. It's super, super empowering. So that's the second thing. The third thing I want to bring up, and I'm sure we've all been here and we're probably dealing with it right now, and that is social pressures. Tracy, I'm going to pick on you again. So, you know, like being out for a meal today, and sometimes, you know, we tell ourselves that it's a little bit embarrassing that you are that person saying, no, I'll have something different, or, you know, that way. And sometimes social pressures from other people can make us cave in the sense of we go away from our goals, you know, just to be in that comfortable kind of zone, and not make other people uncomfortable or ourselves uncomfortable, what we perceive. Whereas other people probably don't give a shit, you know, but we think in our heads these sorts of things. So if somebody, you know, ordered a big burger and fries, and you're like, oh, I'll have just some lettuce and no dressing, thanks. You know, you think, you're afraid that your choice is probably going to make them feel uncomfortable, and because you're making healthy choices, so you just kind of cave and have the burger and fries as well. You know, I'm sure we've all been here. I'm sure we're all doing this. Or another one is, you don't want to insult somebody. Like, this is the massive thing I'm finding right now. Like, being away, like all my dinners are being cooked for me. You know, most lunches, breakfasts I'm sorting myself, but it's not aligning with my goals, some of these meals. But hey, you know, you need to set boundaries for yourself, you know, and sometimes we do have to say no, and, you know, and it's not insulting that person, you know, as well. Like, you feel like you are, and that person, the thing is, you need to talk to that person and say, hey, look, at the minute, I'm just trying to be a bit better with my calories. You know, I need to maintain while I'm away, and just, do you mind if I have this amount of portion, or, you know, I won't have that part of the meal, you know, and talk to people. As I said, people, if you tell them what you're doing, they're not going to mind, you know, whereas if you're there and you're shoving something to the side, you know, and not telling them why you're doing that, then yeah, you might be insulting them, you know. So it's really important to kind of stand on your own 2 feet. And when everybody else is, you know, drinking, or everybody else is eating out, you know, and you say, hey, you know what, I'm good, I'm not hungry, or, you know what, I don't want to drink today, you know, it's much easier to cave in those situations, for sure. And do you find when you say you don't want to drink, someone's first thing, because I find this in Ireland now, are you pregnant? It's like, no, like what the hell, so it's those judgmental times, that kind of way. So it's dealing with those social pressures. We need to be prepared for them if we are in that dieting cycle, if we are trying to stick to some form of a calorie deficit. So making change when dealing with those social pressures, just communicate, guys. Literally just tell them what you're doing, okay, and keep it, and and they'll go, cool. And you know what, half the time they'll be like, that's awesome, I respect that, so I'll help you try and reach that, and a lot of the times they do actually respect it, and in some ways you help them because they may have been thinking about it, or maybe I do need to get things back on track with my food and and nutrition and my body and that sort of thing, and when they see you doing it, sometimes it can spark them as well to do it as well. Tina, I'm sure you're a prime example. The whole family's in the gym now, and you were the first one there, so they've all kind of followed suit. So sometimes it's a good thing to other people. You're not in charge of other people's feelings, guys. So if somebody is uncomfortable, that is on them, right? That is not on you. You should take pride in knowing that you're making the better choices for yourself. You're taking care of yourself. You're finally putting yourself first, prioritizing your health and your fitness and that sort of thing. So you can't control how they feel. Okay, so you shouldn't be responsible for that. Full stop, right? So consider the thought, as I said, that you look at it, I might be helping them because they might take inspiration from me. Okay, so look at it that way. It definitely puts a more of a positive light on, when you have to say maybe no to things or order something a bit different for the group, or, have the one drink or whatever it is that you think people may be judging you for. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. So owning the weekend from kind of a emotional point of view, sort of a theory point of view, now let's look at it from more of a practical point of view, because obviously our mindset's in check. We're going to deal with social pressures, we're going to be our own hero, but obviously there's calories in versus calories out. So how do we manage that side of things? Right now, I know you guys are all trackers, which is awesome. So you are in control of those calories for the most part. So when it comes to tracking like that, yourself at the weekends, if we're eating out, it is guesstimation for sure. But we try and find something in MyFitnessPal that is middle of the road, or kind of on the higher side to give ourselves a bit of leeway. So while we say be as accurate as possible, life isn't accurate. So we guesstimate these things. So kind of one way to counteract, I suppose, maybe the splurges on these amazing events that we do go to, would be looking at backloading your calories. So what that means is, and even the non-trackers can do this isn't just for trackers, is you kind of go really light for the start of the day. So you have skip breakfast or have some some yogurt or something light for breakfast. Same as with the lunch, or the dinner, if you're having a lunch out or a dinner out, and go really light for the meal that you can have at home. Salad and meat, like never skip the protein, guys. Always have the protein in the meal, right? Because it's going to keep you fuller for longer if we're backloading calories for sure. And then you've saved up a whole bunch of calories for the evening time when you can, have the starter and the main or the drink or the desserts. They're so calorific. It's so good though. Oh. Like if you have a dessert in a restaurant, it's like 500 or 600 calories. It's like, damn it. But enjoy, that kind of way. And the thing is with backloading calories, for my trackers that are watching this, yourself that you can save up calories during the week, right? So you can say you're on 2,000 calories a day. If you went to 1,800 calories a day, for the 5 days, you can bank 1,000 calories for that meal out. So it's about making your calories work for you. And that is the beauty of tracking. Although tracking, and I have a lot of non-trackers as well, if it's one of those tools that you use at certain times. It's not something that you do forever, but it's to keep yourself in check as well. So go on that little bit lower calorie during the week, you bank some calories in for the weekend. You're not undoing anything. You're still in your calorie deficit. You're still getting results. You're still having a great time. And one thing to note as well, when you are ordering off a menu, choose a meal that is obviously protein, okay, and has the carb portion with it or the fat portion, okay. Don't have the two, because if you cut one of those out, then you are lowering the calorie content. So for example, like pasta is an easy one. So say there was a carbonara and there was a tomato pasta thing. Like obviously one's a carb with, we'll say chickens in there, there's our protein, but the tomato based one is cutting out the cream. So you've taken the fat portion out, okay? Or if you had the salad and it, you know, came with, you know, side of bread or something like that, you know, you're pushing that to the side and you're having your sauce on top, Caesar dressing is quite fatty, that sort of thing, you know. So think about it, look at the menu before you go. All right, send me the menu as well. Like guys, I love looking at menus. Oh, my mouth does water. Like, oh, so nice. So you know, look at the menu before you go, prepare for that, and don't be afraid to ask for something a little different. You know, if you're, you know, especially if you're kind of right, like I know some people have events coming up, so there is a timeline on these things, you know, and it's when we're trying to reach that goal in a certain amount of time, we do sometimes have to go, right, no, I need to do what's right for me now, and I'm going to ask for something a little bit different as well. So just don't be worried. Chefs get things, asked for things different all the time, you know. It's not as if you're vegan or anything. I hope we don't have any vegans in the group. No one I've talked to anyway. You know, those, you know, that, you know, they'd have no trouble asking for things that have absolutely no animal products near them, on them, you know. So chefs are used to this stuff. You know, so if you're just asking for sauce on the side or something, it's no biggie, you know. So do that. And if you're on holidays, obviously this is a biggie. I have people coming back from holidays with weight loss. Okay, it can be done. However, I'm not asking you to lose weight on holidays. I'm asking you to enjoy your damn holiday, right? So, but do it that serves your goals better, and like that, figure out, okay, am I going out in the evenings, you know, and decide where you're going to consume most of your calories in the course of that day, and you know, move, guys, move. You all know how important your steps are, you know, and they're going to create a bigger calorie deficit. So if you are on holidays and you are indulging, which is amazing, it's what holidays are for, move your ass, right? And if you don't want to be that one who pulls out their handy dandy nutrition tracker, don't, guys, have a break from it, put it away, you know, enjoy your holiday, go all out. It's not as if you put some weight on, it's going to be stuck there forever either, guys. And that's the same with the weekends. Like, you're in the right place, we know how to get it off. Just enjoy yourself, and we will, okay? Because there's always going to be times in our lives where we do put on some weight, i.e. Christmas is usually a big one. So you know, we have to allow for these times as well that we might put up a couple of pounds, but we can lose it. No problem, you know. It's when we come out of that cycle and all those bad habits come back and we start gaining is when we need to put stuff on, okay? And then obviously my non-trackers, because there are a lot of you as well, it's more about mindful eating. Actually, me and Tracy were talking about this, putting your knife and fork down between each bite. Lads, it's impossible. Well, it's not impossible, but like I've done it before, and I have a bite and I put it down, and then after 3 goes, you're just mindlessly just shoveling food into your gob, you know. So for the non-trackers, things like that, you know, slowing down your eating, don't eat until you're stuffed. Like literally have an elegant sufficiency, you know. Put the knife and fork down. I don't need to eat the whole plateful if I'm not even hungry. I'm shoveling it in just because I can. And eat when hungry as well, okay? And one thing I find, and now this is for everybody as well, you know, when you find yourself in that mindless eating mode, and you know, especially working from home and things like that as well, and you're just sitting in the kitchen and you know the cupboard's right there and you're constantly going to it and you're just picking, like, if I don't know if you've ever tried it, but if you have something in your hand, like look at it and talk to it. I know it sounds crazy, but just go, am I hungry? Like, am I eating this because I'm hungry? You know, does this serve my goals? And more often than not, you go, put it back. You know, so talk to the food. Honestly, it can work if you find yourself in that mindless eating trap. So take a second, look at it, talk to yourself, and see if you're hungry, man, eat it. Like, that's fine. But if you're mindlessly eating, that's always a good one. And then obviously for non-trackers, portion control is really important. And this is for everybody who's eating out as well. You guys all know the hand measuring guide. Your protein, think about, you know, your chicken, your steak, whatever it is, the size of your palm. Your carbohydrates, like you can cup in your hand. So that's your rice, your pasta. You know, you're never going to get that little amount of pasta in a dish in a restaurant, but maybe push them to the side, and your fats, like your dressings and things like that, your butter, think about the size of your thumb is always a good one. And then vegetables, salads, your fist plus. Okay, so load up the plate with lots and lots of veggies. So it's a good way to kind of portion control just visually on your meals, so it can kind of help you towards your goals. Obviously, drink lots of water, guys. Like, fill your belly. It does help. It can take away hunger pangs sometimes. And obviously all the extra steps to the loo will burn more calories too. Win-win. And as I said, you need to get lots of activity on that note as well. And if you find that you are going to have overconsume calories on any particular day, like, get heaps of steps and do the workout, make yourself feel a bit better about the overconsumption sometimes. So now you don't have to train to earn your calories or anything like that. I'm just saying sometimes some people feel a bit better about it as well. So if you find yourself in that negative mindset of, oh God, like, what have I done? Sometimes a workout can make you feel a little bit better. So to recap, I'll stop talking now. 1, change your mindset, right? Growth, not fixed, right, is important. Create awareness around what you're doing. Don't just jump in head first and go, I'm going to lose weight and I'm going to do this. And, create awareness around what you're doing, what your triggers are, where you can learn, you're going to make mistakes, that sort of thing as well. Ditch the all or nothing thinking. Okay, it's not all or nothing, it's consistency regardless of what you're doing. Be your own hero. Okay, accept things, take responsibility, really important. Don't be blaming everybody else for circumstances. Manage your social pressures, really, really important. Okay, and guesstimate if you're tracking or use those mindful practices if you're not. Makes sense. Are you going to crush your weekend? It's almost weekend time. You can, if you have any questions there, you can unmute yourself and we can have a quick chat. But I'm sure, like, you guys, the 3 of you, we have already talked about this. You guys are living it right now. So you know it quite well. So it's about putting it into practice. But would you have any other tips for anyone who's not on track, I suppose, or trying, but things just aren't clicking?
This morning, I suppose you knew I was going out for dinner today because we had confirmation. So I just made myself an omelette and I had a few slices of Brady's ham and filled it up with peppers, onion and mushrooms. And it actually seemed to be really big and was quite filling. And I was maybe had that maybe around 9:30 after the kids were in school. And usually, like, by mid-morning, I'm always, I just go to the fridge because it's a habit. And I said, am I really hungry? Probably talking to the fridge. But I drank water and I had a coffee, and even I find the milky coffees during the day would be something. You might have a cappuccino or the latte, and if you have 2 of them a day, like, I know that's, like, adds up in calories as well. But then we had dinner and I said, I forgot to ask for sauce on the side. It's so used to, I suppose now I haven't been going out for dinner, and when I saw it, damn it, I never asked him. But like, I didn't finish it and I put down the fork and knife. But it was really hard, and then I'd be stopping, and we obviously chatting, and then going back again, and then everyone else had finished, and they said, "Oh, you finished your dinner?" And I said, "I have enough, and I will." And I ordered fish, and there was potato and veg, and it was lovely. But I suppose I just tried to scrape the sauce off it. But it's just, as you said, thinking more, I think, and just be more mindful, and that's hard, but it's a work in progress, as I was saying to you. So.
Absolutely, and it always is, and that's the thing. Like, we're never gonna be perfect. It's and like that. It's not ordering the sauce on the side isn't even a mistake. It's just something that happened, and you go, okay, that's the circumstance right now, and like that, you put some to the side, leave tomorrow because it's pretty nice, but like that, it's just these circumstances are always going to come at us. It's just the way life goes. So it's about managing them. Not being perfect, but talking to yourself, being your own hero, taking responsibility for these things, and working towards our goals no matter what's coming at us. That's what's important, and you guys smash it. Like, you really are. You're really in the zone and doing things as best as you can, which is amazing. So hopefully, but other people in the group see you guys and take inspiration from everything that you're doing, because you're inspirational 100%. So it's good. It's important that everyone, sees what's going on and knows that I can do it too. You know, it's just different seasons of that dieting phase, and that's what everyone needs to understand is, and I do, like, I've sat down with some people recently and they're just like, I just can't stay in a calorie deficit right now. They've got events on all the time. Why are you trying to lose? It's, you know, let's just go, right, I'm going to maintain for these next 2 months and then I'm going to hit the calorie deficit again. You know, there's no point in creating this failure cycle when it doesn't fit into our current circumstances, you know. So it's really important to find that balance, as I said, with the mindset and creating awareness around your current circumstances and going, right, yeah, I can be in a calorie deficit right now. I'm going to go and lose a bit of fat, cool. Or do you know what, right now it's not quite feasible, and I probably am setting myself up for failure if I do, you know, constantly try when there's these things on. And while I can make good choices, I'm not going to be in a deficit. You know, and it's important to recognize these and create awareness, and then it's a more positive spin on it as well. You know, you're happy in doing what you're doing instead of this constant, everything feels like it's coming at you and it's a struggle, and you know, these massive hills to climb. You know, it shouldn't be that way. You know, that's why we need to create awareness, number one, and your mindset always around these things. Instead, don't jump straight into a diet, think, yep, I'm going to lose some fat, I'm going to lose some weight now, when maybe the circumstances don't allow for that at the time. Being accepting, you know, who's in a rush anyway? Come on, we've got years and years to live, hopefully. So does that make sense, guys? Any more questions for me? I do appreciate you spending some time with me this evening, well, this morning for me. But yeah, if you have any questions, drop in the group. I'll put up, I'll send this on to everyone else. So since I've seen your lovely faces, if anyone reaches out to you with questions, be sure to be a good community member and help them with some tips and tricks that you may have anyway. Amazing. Thank you. All right, ladies. I will talk to you soon.
Have a good day. Bye.
Bye.